You know, over the last several years, India has been undertaking one of the most ambitious economic transformations on the entire planet. And we're not just talking about tweaking a few policies here and there. This is a fundamental rewiring of the whole system. So let's really dig into what's going on.
So, what's the secret sauce here? How has India managed to keep up this incredible growth? Is this just a flash in the pan, or is there something, much deeper happening beneath the surface?
Well, it turns out the answer is a pretty deliberate foundational redesign of its entire economic architecture. It's all built on three really powerful, interconnected pillars that are changing the game for how business, work, and technology function across the whole country.
So, first up, we've got to talk about the country's financial plumbing. Back in 2017, India flipped a huge switch on a massive reform. The Goods and Services Tax, you've probably heard of it as GST. You have to understand, before GST, doing business across India was, well, it was a logistical nightmare. Just picture this tangled web of different state taxes, central taxes, all overlapping. And what GST did was sweep all of that away, replacing it with one single unified tax system for the entire country.
The ambition here was massive. They wanted to create what they literally called a good and simple tax. The whole idea wasn't just to simplify the tax code, but to build a digital backbone for it, making it way easier to comply and pulling more of the economy into the formal digital world. And this wasn't just on paper, okay? This had a massive, real-world impact. Think about it. By getting rid of all those state-line checkposts, trucks that used to be stuck in these insane queues can now travel an extra 25 kilometers every single day. That is a huge efficiency gain for the logistics sector, which is basically the lifeblood of the economy. Okay, so that's the financial plumbing. Now, the second pillar? It tackles the human side of things, a total overhaul of the rules of work. We're talking about modernizing this jungle of old laws with 4 new, streamlined labor codes. And the scale of the simplification, it is just staggering. You had 29 different, often conflicting central labor laws, some of them decades old, and they've all been boiled down into just 4 comprehensive codes. And these new codes bring some really significant changes. For the very first time, there's a minimum wage that applies to all workers, not just a select few in the organized sector. That old Inspector Raj system, the one that was famous for red tape and corruption, that's being replaced with a facilitator model that's actually designed to help businesses comply. And on top of that, new Social Security protections are being rolled out for unorganized and gig economy workers for the first time. That's a big deal.
So what's the goal here? Well, it's a really careful balancing act. It's about strengthening protections for workers while at the same time creating a more flexible, business-friendly environment. The kind of environment that encourages companies to invest and, you guessed it, create more jobs.
All right, and that brings us to our third and final pillar, and this is the one that's really lighting a fire under future growth: India's roaring digital engine. And listen, this isn't just about the big tech companies. We're talking about the digitalization of the entire economy. I mean, the scale here is just mind-boggling. In just one fiscal year, 2022-23, India's digital economy was valued at nearly $370 billion. It's an absolutely enormous number.
But here's the number that really puts it into perspective. That $368 billion, that's almost 12% of India's entire national income. So yeah, the digital economy isn't some niche sector anymore. It is a core part of the whole machine. And what's crazy is that this growth has just been relentless. If you look back to 2014, the digital economy was just over 5% of the national income. Today, it's more than doubled. This isn't just some temporary spike, it's a solid, powerful trend. And when you actually break down this digital economy, it gets really interesting. So about 2/3 of it comes from what you'd expect, right? The core digitally enabling industry, think telecom. But that other third, that's where the real transformation is happening. It's coming from all these new digital platforms and from traditional sectors like banking, retail, and education getting a complete digital makeover. So where is all this headed? Well, the projections are even more dramatic. By 2030, so not that far away, India's digital economy is on track to make up nearly a fifth, almost 20%, of the entire national income. Just let that sink in.
And look, this isn't just some number pulled out of thin air. The foundations for this are already firmly in place. I mean, India is now the world's second biggest manufacturer of mobile phones. It processes more digital payments than any other country on Earth. It's the third largest home for unicorns, and its cloud market is just exploding.
Okay, so let's put it all together. We've got the unified tax system, we've got the modern labor laws, and we've got this incredible digital engine. So how do they all lock together to build a foundation for the future? And this right here is the most important part. These aren't three separate projects happening in isolation. No way. They're designed to work together, to reinforce each other, creating this powerful multiplier effect across the whole economy. Just think about it for a second. The super smooth logistics that came from GST, that's what makes the insane growth of e-commerce even possible. Those new, more flexible labor laws, they're absolutely essential for digital-first startups and the gig economy to really take off. And then, closing the loop, the digital economy provides all the tools and platforms that make complying with all these new tax and labor rules easier than ever. It's like a perfect virtuous cycle.
Like one report put it, the ultimate vision here is crystal clear. It's all about building a foundation for an economy that's more equitable for its workers, more transparent in how it operates, and is built from the ground up for sustainable growth.
So the pieces are being put in place. We're watching a deep, structural overhaul that's designed for a completely new era. The foundation is being laid, brick by brick. So the only real question left is how high can it build